Okay guys, so I just recorded this whole video and I just realized I forgot to say who I am. I didn't say at the beginning, this is Shy Vlogs. I am Shyla and welcome to my channel. So let's get into this video.
Who's there? Who's there? Who's there?
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications. And if you're not, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing mighty fine. So as you can tell by the title of the video, this is a story time about another one of my life stories. This is a story time about the time I took a Greyhound bus from Minnesota to Ohio with only $20 to go see a guy that I met. It wasn't even online, it was actually on like one of those phone chats, but we'll get into that. So y'all, let's just get straight into the video. Alright, so I don't even know where to start. Alright, so this was around, let's say, 2006-ish. So in 2006, back then they had like these phone chat lines, and it was like, I think they were called like a party line or something. Anyway, what you would do, it was basically like a chat room, which people that are watching this probably don't know what a chat room is, but it was basically like, you would call in and it would be like a whole bunch of different like rooms, and like each number would have number in your phone would be a different room, and you would go into different rooms and it would be like a bunch of people from all over, and then y'all would talk, and then like you could like exchange phone numbers or do whatever you wanted to do. Like some people just did like a private chat, whatever. So initially I used to get on there, and like me and my friends would get on there, and it was just fun. It was like funny, like we'll never meet these people. We literally would get on there, just argue and just do stuff, stupid stuff. Like it was just dumb young people stuff. Okay, so fast forward, obviously I got on there one time and I met this guy. I'm gonna call him Jack. It's not his name, but I met this guy named Jack. Okay, so Jack lived in Ohio. At the time I was 19 and Jack was 29. Okay, so Jack had a 13-year-old son and I had my daughter. My daughter was 2. Okay, so when I first met Jack, I was like, dude, you're old as hell. You're 29, I'm 19. Like, what do we have in common? And he had like all these dreams of like, it's funny now, but I was so stupid. He had these dreams of putting me through school, and he was telling me that I could come there and we could be a family, and I could be there for his son, Little Jack, and be the stepmom because Little Jack's mom wasn't in the picture, blah, 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 you know, painting this beautiful picture. And he had a career, and he just wanted me to get into my career, and he was going to help me, and blah, 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 whatever, a bunch of damn lies. So me and Jack talked for like 6 months to a year before I actually went out there. So we like, back then there wasn't no dang sending no pictures over the phone or nothing like that. He sent me pictures, snail mail. So I talked to him for like probably like 4 months, and then he sent me a picture in the mail of him. And when I seen him, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really attracted to him. He was like really tall. He was like probably like 6'5" or 6'6", so he was really tall, and he was kind of a husky build, but he just wasn't my type. Like he wasn't my type then, and he for damn sure wouldn't have been my type now. But he puts you in the mindset of like Cuban Gooding Jr. or Trey on Boys in the Hood. Like how he dressed, that's how he dressed. So, because he said that he was a counselor, but he really wasn't. He like worked at the Boys and Girls Club as like whatever like the workers do at the Boys and Girls Club. Like that's what he did, and he called himself a youth counselor, but that's something else. So he sent me a picture, and I wasn't like physically attracted to him, but I liked his conversation, and I enjoyed talking to him. You know, we had fun on the phone, so I continued to talk to him, and then it grew into like more than a friendship. I kind of started to like this guy. So fast forward to like 4 more months down the line, and he was like, "You should come visit me." And I'm like, no. I'm like, "You should drive to come see me." And he was like, "If I get you a bus ticket, will you come visit me?" I'm like, "Sure." Now, ladies, young ladies, if you're watching this and a man wants you to come see him and he's offering you to come to pay for your travel expenses, don't take the damn Greyhound bus, okay? So he bought me a bus ticket, and nobody like knew about this man. Like none of my friends, nobody, my mom, like just nobody. Like he was like a secret kind of. The only person that knew about him was my grandma, and that's because like when I first met him, I was living at her house, so he would call the house phone obviously and ask to speak to me, but she just knew like that about him. She didn't know anything else beyond that. So fast forward, he finally convinced me to come to visit him in Ohio. So I'm really not sure what I told my mom on how I got her to babysit my daughter, or maybe Shallon was with her dad's side of the family at that time. I honestly don't know. It sounds bad, but I don't know if she was with my mom or I believe she was with her dad's family though. So I got the bus ticket, and I had a prepaid cell phone back then. I had a freaking Virgin Mobile Oyster phone, okay? So back then you used to recharge your phone. Like I remember I used to top up my phone with like $20. So every time you made a phone call, like your balance would decrease. So I had like $12 on my phone and $20 in my pocket. So when he sent me a ticket, he sent me $20, okay? So mind you, I'm traveling from Minnesota to Ohio and on the Greyhound bus, which was like 26 hours. So I survived off of $20. So I get on the bus, and still nobody even knows that. My mom did not know that I went to Ohio. My sister, nobody knew that I'm taking this trip to meet this mystery man that I've never met before. I just hopped on the bus, and I was not afraid. Like I said before, I was a rebel without a cause when I was younger. So I hopped on the bus, and I was on my way. So on my way to Ohio, I didn't realize that they were going to stop so much. I don't know if I just thought that we were just going to just drive straight through, because I had never rode on a bus anywhere. We've always flew. My mom always took us on planes, so this was like an adventure. In my mind, I'm like, I get to see all these cities, like drive through all these cities, it'll be fun. But I didn't realize that it was so many stops, okay? So we're stopping, and obviously I'm hungry. Mind you, I only have $20, so I'm getting stuff off the dollar menu, meeting some crazy people. I met this girl that was like on her way from running away from California. She was like similar to me, but she was running away. She was like not an adult, because I was 19, so I was like legal. She was like 16, and she was like running away from California to the East Coast to backpack with some man that she met. So I was like, you're crazy. I'm looking at her like, why would you do something like that? When in reality, I was doing the same damn thing, except I was just 19. But to make matters worse, I had a kid. So fast forward, we finally almost make it there, and by the time I get to Ohio, I didn't have any money. So I traveled to Ohio with $20, and by the time I arrived, my balance was zero, okay? So I get there, and obviously I have my picture, because that's the only way I know what this man looks like. And he kept calling me on my way there, but like I said, my phone didn't have that much money on it, so I just was telling him like my location, X, Y, and Z. He let me know that okay, he was so excited to meet me. He got to the bus station, and I think he was actually there when I got there. So I got there, we greeted each other, and when I met him, it was just like, it was so weird. Being in Ohio was just like an eerie feeling, probably because I wasn't supposed to be there or nobody knew I was there. So I got there and I was obviously hungry. And he was like, "Are you hungry?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So all I had was like one backpack of clothing, and that was it. So I went back to his house and I showered, and we went out to eat, and it was okay, you know. And I met his son, and like I said, I was 19 and his son was 13, so that was weird because I had like way more in common with his 13-year-old son than I did with him. So that was weird. And he was like, "This is gonna be your stepmom, this is your girlfriend, so this is my new girlfriend, blah blah blah." And Lil Jack was like, he was cool about it. He didn't really care because he's a kid, and he was a boy, so that made it that much better because boys don't pay attention and stuff. But if he would have had a daughter, it would have been a different scenario. So I stayed at Jack ended up going to work like the next day or something, and he kept calling me, and he was like, "When I get home, you know, I need you to make sure the dishes are washed and my meal is prepared. Like, if you're gonna be my woman, you need to, you know, cater to me." Mind you, I'm 19 years old, so I'm thinking like, I didn't come out here to be your maid. You want me to cook and clean? I have my own kid, and I'm definitely not about to pretend like I'm your housewife. So when he got back to his house, none of that was done because I'm not about to do that. So he had an attitude, and I'm like, whatever. Me not thinking like, girl, you're out here with no money, nobody knows where you're at, and he could just literally just drop you off and you just be done for, because I knew nothing about the area that I was in. So the next day he went to work, and then he called me and he was like, "You need to leave my house." I'm like, where am I supposed to go? He's like, "I don't know what you're gonna do, but you need to figure it out." Oh my God. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you invited me out here. Like, I never said or agreed to coming out here to be your housewife. I thought we were gonna get to know each other and, you know, progress maybe or something. It was never supposed to be me moving out here just to be basically he wanted me to come out there and be his wife or his, I don't know what he was expecting, but apparently it didn't go how he thought it was gonna go. So he was like, "I'll buy you a bus ticket home." He was like, "But you gotta get the hell out of my house." He's like, "So when I get off today, I'm taking you to the bus station." What? You mean to tell me I just drove all the way out here and now you're telling me that you're gonna make me go back to Minnesota on the bus with no money, but you're gonna buy me a bus ticket? Cool. I was like, fine, that's fine with me. I was like, I'll be ready when you get here. That was the naive me. I'm not thinking that this grown man was gonna really drop me off. So he got off work and he was like, "You ready to go?" Like, literally, that's what he walked in and said. I was like, yep. He drove my happy ass right to the bus station. He had me a bus ticket and he dropped me off. And I sat at that bus station probably for like 6 to 8 hours because I had to wait for the next bus to come and I didn't know anybody there. And when he told me that he was gonna just drop me off, I packed me some sandwiches because, listen, I had just rode that bus with no money and now I'm really riding back with no money, okay? I definitely packed me some sandwiches. And then he had like this thing of like his quarters for washing his clothes. I emptied the quarter container in my bag and I took those damn quarters because I knew I didn't have any money. Like, desperate times calls for desperate measures. I'm just saying, and I had to do what I had to do. So he dropped me off, and I waited for the bus for 6 to 8 hours, and yeah, I went my ass back to Minnesota. Nobody knew that I went to Ohio. I didn't have any time on my phone. I could still text message. I had enough of a balance to text message one of my friends, and I had a friend named Heather at the time, and there's so many Heathers out there, so I'll use her name, and I sent Heather a text, and I told her in the text message what was going on, and she put like $10 on my phone, so I was able to call, make a phone call or two. But I made it back to Minnesota, and when I got back to Minnesota, I just went on about my life. And on my way back, though, this is where this story is a little crazy. I'm telling y'all, when I was younger, I did what I wanted to do. I don't even know how the things that I did, I would never do now. I was just like so young, wild, and free, I guess. On my way back from Ohio, obviously we made several stops, and we stopped in somewhere in Wisconsin, and a few inmates from prison hopped on the bus. Okay, they had just got released from prison. Now, if you watched my last video, you know that I said that I've always been attracted to bad boys, or somebody that's a little rough around the edges. So this guy gets on the bus. It was a couple of them, and they were talking, and the one guy, he sat across from me, and he was another older gentleman, and his name was Bobby. Bobby gets on the bus, and he starts talking to me, and he has a southern draw, and I'm like, oh, just making conversation. And then we stopped and got, at McDonald's. Obviously, he got off the bus, he just got out of prison, he was excited to get him to McDonald's. So he asked me if I wanted something, he brought me to McDonald's, and then I gave him my phone number. And then I started to date him. I met this man on my way back from meeting a man online. And if you guys are interested in that story time and how that goes, comment down below. Girl, just comment down below yellow heart, and I will give you guys that story time. I do want to say in this video that when I went to Ohio, I did not sleep with that man. I was not sexually active with the man, and so it's not like I'm just man hopping or anything like that. I was just, I don't know, I was just adventurous, I guess. I wasn't afraid to try things, I guess that's what you would call it. But I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that, because it could have went totally different. Thank God somebody was praying for me somewhere, because he could have been crazy, and nobody would have had no idea where I was, because I felt like I was grown. So why do I need to tell them where I'm going? My daughter is taken care of, so y'all know how that is. So yeah, that's the time I went to Ohio with $20 to meet a man that I had never seen before, and I would never do that shit again. And yeah, so make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every time that I upload. Also, if you are not subscribed to my other channel, which is Melanin Monroe, get your butt over there and subscribe. I dropped all the hot tea on all of the YouTubers, and all your favorite YouTubers, and all of your favorite Instagrammers, social media influencers. And on this channel, I drop the tea about my damn self, because I'll be damned if somebody exposes me. I'm gonna expose myself. But yeah, so yeah, I will see you guys later. Peace.